allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Alex Bedwick,
Here.
Chris Iden,
Here.
Kelly Boyle,
Here.
Aaron Mishka,
Here.
Cindy Lee Buchowski Hoffman,
Here.
Ken Charneski,
Here.
Chris Gold.
Here. All right, we're all in attendance. Item number 2, announcement for a session later on the agenda. Item 3, public comment. We have Brady.
Good evening, Mr. President.
I don't think it's on. It does. Just have to hit the power button.
Let me try that one, Greg. This is showing red here.
You gotta flip the switch maybe, huh?
Yeah, we need to get somebody to check
There you go.
that.
I'll take it.
Good evening, Mr. President. My name is Bernie Kramer, 2150 East State Highway 153, Peplin. I'd just like to address the TID 2. I see we're having a big joint meeting here Monday night and extending the life of TID 2, which has been very successful on the east side. It's a mixed-use TID, and I would definitely say that the residential is all used up. And the business side or light manufacturing, on the west side, we have one, right? One truck repair shop. That's it, one. And now you wanna extend that, where if you cash it in, you could change the zoning, and you could have residential on part of that. And I'm sure it would fill in very quickly. And right now, we have very slow growth in Kronenwetter, very slow growth. We're in the 4th year of it right now. And also, they would be on the tax roll, and that would be helpful. But the main thing is, in Kronenwetter, we have a hard time attracting the so-called business, walk-in businesses, or anything right now. I mean, one business in 20 years, on that TID 2, and you wanna extend it, there's no logic behind it. And if you're doing it just because you can do it, makes no sense at all. And we have no business in any of the TIDs, none. We have 5 businesses in Kronenwetter, walk-in businesses. We have a bank, a gas station, 2 taverns, and a store. None of them are in a TID. So the TIDs have done nothing at all for business in Kronenwetter. So if you're gonna go to work and extend that TID out there, and really, I think there will be no returns. And where it could be put to use, if you return it and cancel out on that TID. And I can't understand with a little logic, and they say in here, performance, they wanna know performance in the last 3 or 4 years of TIDs. Well, I'd like to see that performance report. I mean, it can't be very good, because they haven't been very productive. Thank you.
Next up is Mel Connell.
Now, Condo, 1747 Kowalski Road. I've got 2 questions. One, did everybody get this? Did everybody read it? Did you, Chris?
Yeah.
You wanna comment on it? You're the president. You wanna comment on that?
Not you, no thanks.
No, that's your comment?
I'm not gonna comment on it. This is for you to talk to us. I'm not gonna
All right,
comment.
so you don't want me to comment on it. Okay, that's fine. That's typical. Ken, I wanna know why you are sending text messages to people in the office and harassing them, because that's what this article is. Now, you want people to move into town. You want business to move into town. This is citywide. This is citywide. Now, and anybody that wants to move in here, they read this, why in the hell would I move in and put up with shit like this? Simple comment. Another thing is, that ambulance, has it been approved to pay by an ambulance and,
Nope.
so it's a dead horse?
Well, it's not dead, but it's not been approved to buy an ambulance.
Okay, cause my comment is last year, my wife, I had to call the ambulance. 5 minutes, I had a paramedic, or one of the medics here from
First
Kronenwetter.
responder.
Another 2 or 3 minutes, I had another one. Within 15 minutes, I had 3 medics there and an ambulance from Rockchild. So that's 15 minutes, and I have an ambulance. So now if you wanna buy an ambulance and put all the equipment in there, and then have it manned 24/7, 7 days a week. Believe me, I think no matter what we have to pay, it's a hell of a lot cheaper than having our own ambulance. Because if it's like the volunteer fire department, you gotta have somebody drive all the way over there, and then all the way to wherever it is. I'm sure they're not gonna get there in 15 minutes, even in my place, as close as it is. I think I don't know what you should, you're the president. I think you ought to need to put some control on the people that are causing problems here. Because it's all, I mean, I get asked by all kinds of people from Wausau. They know I live in Crown, they ask me, well, what's going on here? Why is this? Why is that?
Well, we're trying now. If you listen to the last meeting 2 weeks ago, you see we're trying to do some things to correct stuff like that.
Okay, I appreciate that.
So that's the comment you'll get from me.
Okay. I'll hold you to it.
Absolutely.
I would just mention one thing on the ambulance. We have a subcommittee where we're kind of like a joint committee where it's looking at implementing and the feasibility of it. We're having a meeting tomorrow at 6 p.m. here in this room. We're working on it. So I invite the public to attend and see what we're looking at. It's complicated, that's all I'm gonna say.
Looks gonna be, yeah.
All right, moving on. Item number 4, reports from staff and vendors. Item C, police chief's report.
Okay, I don't have a lot outside of the report. As you see, a pretty busy month for us in August, but the only other thing I would add is that we helped out on the recent rally at CWA last weekend, so I didn't want to jinx us, and everything went well in here until I knew it, so I just helped, and yeah, it did go well. Yep, it really did. So it was a long day for a lot of the officers, but everything went well, so glad to report that. Otherwise, I'll take any questions anybody's got.
You have any questions?
I got one. Terry, Saturday before last, there was an accident over by Accident Double X there. Looked like a pretty hard impact accident. Is there anything on the county level of doing anything at that intersection or roundabout or anything?
That's been a topic of discussion for some time, actually, you know, because it is mostly county controlled. That they actually make the decision. I know a couple years ago, they looked at some numbers and it wasn't statistically significant for them to proceed with anything else, and then thought it gained some more traction here. I think Joel Straub is gonna bring it back up to the county. I don't know where it went from there, but it's kind of a recurring issue. That intersection, I suspect at some point, something is gonna end up being done with it.
So I gotta carry that torch, if you will.
Oh yeah, that's right, you're on the president.
I've done any with it since the last board.
Yep,
So I gotta reach out and start to help all over again,
okay,
or keep it rolling.
Yep.
Be more to come on that,
Okay.
as we get more information from Kelly. Anything else for Chief? All right, thanks, Chief.
you bet.
All right, moving on to Fire Chief.
Yep, so, same as Chief, August was pretty busy for us. One quick comment on that accident, if there were no transportable injuries from that, so. Looked worse than it was. Done a lot of volunteer events this last month. And we were also involved in this past Saturday's event down at the CWA. We had, 8 personnel at the airport and 6 personnel here. But as far as we're concerned, that all went well too. Take any questions?
So I assume that Mosby and other municipalities had people there as well?
Mosby was there.
Just us?
Yeah, correct. Mosby was there as well. That is their jurisdiction. We are considered the safe haven of our fire station, so that's why we had to have people here, and we're quite involved. And I know they had ambulances there from Safer and Riverside, I believe.
Anything else for Fire Chief? Right, Deputy. All right, moving on to special orders, the ambulance subcommittee. So Alex, if you'd like to give the group an update on the
Sure.
meeting.
Yep, there's not a report typed up right here, because it was our first meeting. It was really more about the structure and the scope of the committee. It's kind of a unique setup where it's kind of a joint scope where it's both doing feasibility and, I guess, providing implementation, guidance, as we go. You know, we have a lot on the next agenda. We're following a framework that was originally put together and approved by the village board, but put together by former administrator, Pete Camphor. And we're basically gonna go through each of the items, on that list and try to address each piece of that. At the same time, like I said, the other component is the implementation piece. You know, the original proposal was to implement this with a start date of January 1st, 2026. That's a tight timeline. So if there's anything the committee can do to recommend with guidance from well, the committee and with the fire department in terms of implementation, if there's anything we can get done, you know, recommend to the village board for their approval, especially if there's an opt-out with no cost to the village. One thing that comes to mind is you know, something like a purchase agreement for an ambulance. That's a long lead time item. I know there was a purchase agreement that was floating out there that would have allowed us the option to opt out of going forward with that purchase at no cost up until July of 2025, with costs if you opt out after that date. I know that's something we're gonna be looking at for potential recommendation. Don't wanna speak for the committee on that, as we only really discussed our structure, our objective, our scope, you know, our meeting dates. You know, we determined we need more meeting dates than the traditional monthly meeting due to the tight timelines we have, but we are intending to do a very deep dive on every aspect of this. And at the end of the day, that's the goal of the committee, is really doing both setting up the village or attempting to make the recommendations needed to implement an ambulance if it is also determined to be feasible after checking off each item on this comprehensive list. And we will have, you know, update meetings with, you know, a Gantt chart and kind of a working document, showing our progress through all that. I know we've had a lot of, we have a lot of information to dive through. And the goal of this committee really is to also, ensure that we have a coherent, unified, factual message. You know, there's been a lot of misinformation out there that has been spread on social media and elsewhere, and the goal is really to use all the information we have. So I'm very optimistic. It seemed like a very collaborative group, and our next meeting is tomorrow. So I invite the public to attend if people are interested in hearing some of the nuances, because it's easy to make a one-paragraph statement about what you feel about it, whether it's going to be cost-effective or not. The truth is, no matter what we do with an ambulance, it's very complicated in the grand grand scheme of the finances of the village and how an ambulance service operates. So, that's all I'm gonna say on that.
Anybody have any questions? All right, thanks, Alex. Teresa, I wanna go back, I wanted to ask you about the pizza delivery. I saw there's some photos and
Yes,
how did that go over?
the pizza delivery was absolutely amazing. The pizza raffle was from the National Night Out. A 3-year-old little boy won it, and his family was more than thrilled to, work with us. We picked up the pizza, I let them pick where they wanted it from, they picked Papillon's, because that's what they like, whatever. I didn't care. They thought maybe they were doing Jack's Pizza, I'm like, go beyond that. So I actually picked up 2 pizzas that night, brought it over so that we could have a piece with him, and that little boy, I see the face when we turned that corner with the lights on that truck, he started doing a dance, it was absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Great.
We had a good turnout of new people that joined us, and it was good to see them get involved as well.
Cool. All right, moving on to item number 5, new business, item E, repair due to the leak issue at the butterfly valve and main pump valve.
Thank you. Like it says there, we have a leak in the butterfly valve on well number 1. So we received many quotes, and the utility committee recommended the stainless steel quote option to prevent corrosion in the future with chemical and with the pipe there. So the quote comes in at $6,912, which we have more than enough in the budget for the year for that. So we're just looking for approval from the village board for that tonight.
So according to page 16, if you replace it with regular steel, it's only like $500 less.
Correct.
Okay, so it's kind of a
Correct.
no-brainer.
Correct.
So that Ken mentioned that, I was just reading this too. Why do you need DNR approval to go to the stainless steel?
Any chemical, anything that goes into the pipes, when you have a change of metals, you need DNR approval just so they know what's in the water system itself. So we run everything through the DNR because it is a public water system. So it's not saying it's bad, not saying it's anything, just saying, here's what we have for our system, so we let the DNR pretty much know about it.
And I assume when they replace that fitting, they'll clean up the main pipe that's gonna let rest around as well.
Absolutely.
Make a motion to approve the CTW wells and pump quote.
I'll second.
Okay, I've got a motion by Chris, second by Aaron to approve the contract with CTW for an amount not to exceed $6,912. Any further discussion? Call the roll, please.
Chris Bull,
Yes.
Ken Charneski.
Yes.
Cindy Lee Buchowski Huffman,
Yes.
Aaron Mishka,
Yes.
Kelly Coyle,
Yes.
Chris Iden,
Yes.
Alex Svedvick.
Yes.
All right, motion carried 7-0. Guys, just remember, when you make motions on items with dollar amounts, to include a dollar amount in the motion. Thank you. All right, I left contract for service, Sunny Court Road improvements.
We have many roads that we need to upgrade and reconstruct here in the village, so we are choosing Sunny Court just because of the condition of it and the road that goes past it, so we want to get that area done. We had it in the budget for this year from last year's budget, so pretty much when I came into this position, Brad said, this is what we're choosing to use. So we received quotes, and the American Asphalt Wisconsin came in at that, which leaves us enough in the budget with a quote of, let me see here, $130,655 for Sunny Road improvements.
So you're not recommending the shoulder option?
That is something we do in-house.
Okay.
We have a machine for that, we save money.
Oh, is that the just bought? But
What's that?
is that the machine piece we just bought for the?
No, the machine that we just purchased is, it grinds up the asphalt so we can do it better, yeah. So I don't know the specific name for that, but we have a shoulder machine that we do in-house.
Cool.
Yeah,
And then would that be something, is this something they can do this year?
it'll happen within the next month.
Oh, cool. And then do you know the last time Sunny Court was redone or had anything done?
Brad told me it's been a long time.
I was out there over the weekend and it didn't look like it had even been seal coated in the last 10, 15
I know
years or so. It's,
beyond seal coating, it's beyond chip sealing, so this is what we need to do to the road.
any other questions? What do you guys want to do?
I think we should move forward on it. I mean, we have budget dollars, you know, long-term, like other areas, like we looked at the utilities, you know, implementing a capital improvement plan. We got a lot of road miles in the village. You know, we've generally just been doing chip seal all over the place. It's not cheap to invest in roads, but I think it's important that we not let them all deteriorate at the rate that they have been. And unfortunately, that's part of business, you know, we have to invest in our infrastructure.
And I would add, if it was on a report or a project list, we should try to stick to the project list.
Alright, so is this about a half mile long, or how long are we talking here?
Roughly, yeah,
So it's what they call a mill and overlay.
correct, correct.
That's not so bad. Well, we figured
I was actually pretty
quarter
impressed with the price.
million a mile, so that's about right.
Yeah, I was actually pretty impressed with the price that they gave us. I don't know if it's the end of year special or whatnot, but yeah, I'll take it, absolutely.
Well, I make a motion to approve the Sunnyside Road Improvement Project, approving American Asphalt Wisconsin quote in the total amount of $130,655.
Second.
Hey, well, both.
I was thinking something here.
Someone owes someone a soda,
But before we go, do you have any other roads you're looking at to use up the rest of that budget for this year or not?
I'll have to talk with Brad to see what we have for this year, or we're gonna carry it over for next year.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So that's something that he and I are gonna sit down this week and talk about the 5-year CIP with different departments, one being streets, to see what the most need is.
Yeah, okay.
All right, so Kelly made a motion, Steve made a second, to approve contract with American Asphalt for the redo of Sunny Court Road in the amount of $130,655.00. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call please.
Chris Iden,
Yes.
Alex Svedvick,
Yes.
Aaron Mishka,
Yes.
Kelly Coyle,
Yes.
Ken Charneski.
Yes.
Cindy Lee Buchowski Huffman.
Yes.
Chris Bull.
Yes, motion carries 7-0. Item G, 2024 road maintenance additions. So Friday, at like 11 o'clock, Brad came in the office and said, hey Chris, we got some extra money left over from chip seal. We can do these extra things and get a jump on 25. I said, boy, Brad, you really got that close. I said, we'd have to bypass ABC to do it, bring it right to the board and skip the clip too as well. And the only reason we brought it here is because it is time sensitive. In order to get these things done this year, we couldn't wait another 2-3 weeks. So I went ahead and made a decision to put them on tonight. I knew that tonight was kind of light for materials, so I didn't think it would be a hardship for us not to talk about this tonight. So I'm gonna add more.
So is there anything to discuss? I mean, it's a done deal, right?
Well, I just wanted, I don't know if Greg has got anything extra to add to it.
I really don't have much more to add than what he said there. It's just, remaining funds. He's got an idea of what to do to.
Where to do it.
Where to do it. He's got
Yeah.
a running list, so.
So
pretty
this
much-
is, that Brad has the project and he's got everything calculated out of
Yeah.
what he would spend this year
Exactly.
and what's remaining. So he came in with what he would be under and how to spend it, and we still have $540 left.
Yeah, I noticed that, like, the roads he did this year, boy, they did a heck of a good job on them this year. I don't know if you
Yeah,
guys
that
noticed.
Fox seal is really nice.
Yeah, it just made that road look so much nicer, you know, it's like, this is better than any other year I've ever seen, you know?
Absolutely.
Looks like a new
I don't
road.
understand everything. I mean, we've used the same guy a couple years in a row. I don't know why they put the difference in.
Yeah, it looks like a new road compared to what it's done in the past.
Absolutely. And I agreed with him with the maintenance of the roads here. Anything you do to maintain the roads prolongs their total reconstruct. So instead of like Sunny Court, for instance, where it's beyond its lifespan, let's keep these roads as best we can. to prolong the life. So I figured as well, if we had extra money in the budget without going over for anything, that's what we need to do.
I make a motion to approve the spending of $15,000 to paint and crack fill roads.
Second.
Who was the second?
Alex, no.
All right, motion by Chris, second by Alex. What was the amount again that you had?
15,000 in here.
$15,540.54.
Oh, okay, cause in the recommended action, there's just.
Oh, yeah, he's gonna-
Yeah, it's 9,500 and 5,500.
So it's 60. Oh, no, that's the remaining, you're right.
The
it's
remaining budget is
15.
15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the 55 and the 95. So you're right, 15,000.
Yeah.
So, this is why, you know, I pushed so much in the budget to get road money, we hadn't, I mean, I know this isn't the capital road project like we did with Sunny Court. Like there were, you know, from what I understood for, it was a few years where we didn't really have capital road budget, we just had chip seal.
Yeah.
You know, we have to be looking at comprehensive stuff, we can't just bandage everything going forward, but, I mean, this seems like a no-brainer here, we have the budgeted money, might as well do what we can while we have the labor to do it.
So, Chris made a motion, Alex made a second, to approve $15,000 of unused budgetary funds for additional 2024 road maintenance. Any further discussion? Call the roll, please.
Ken Chernetsky?
Yes.
Aaron Mishka?
Yes.
Kelly Coyle?
Yes.
Alex Medved?
Yes.
Chris Bull?
Yes.
Chris Iden?
Yes.
Cindy Lee Buchowski Hoffman?
Yes.
Right, motion carried, 7-0. Item number 6, consent agenda, excuse me. All we have is the August 26 minutes. Questions, comments?
I didn't see those in my packet.
No, I don't have a hyperlink.
All the clip minutes are in there.
Okay.
Yeah, the
Mine is right in there?
meeting minute, the August 26 village board minutes are not in there. So we'll have to delay action on that, so move on. Unless they're somewhere else, I didn't see them.
No, I just lost it. I looked. I just wasn't reading.
All right, we're gonna move on into item 7, if clerk can find them, we'll come back. Previous meeting minutes from commissions and committees, item I, the May 6th clip minutes. Questions or comments? All right, we'll thank them for their minutes. Item J, July 2, UC minutes. Questions, comments? Thank them for their minutes. Any look on what we're doing?
Nope, I read it. Forgot to throw them in there. I did it, but I forgot to throw them in there.
All right.
That's on me.
Have those for the next meeting then. All right, item number 8, consideration of motion to convene in closed session pursuant to West Stat 19, deliberating or negotiating principal on properties, investing in public funds, or conducting other specified public business. Wherever committed for bargaining reasons, require closed session to it, labor agreement with the Wisconsin Professional Police Association.
I make a motion to move into closed session.
Second.
Motion by Kelly, second by Alex to convene in closed session. All in favor, roll call please.
Alex Medved?
Yes.
Chris Iden?
Yes.
Kelly Coyle?
Yes.
Aaron Mishka?
Yes.
Cindy Lee Buchowski Hoffman? Ken Chernetsky?
Yes.
Chris Bull?
All right, Chris, we have a motion, Kelly made a second to continue negotiations, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Item number 11, considerations of items for future agendas. Anybody have anything? All right. Moving into item number 12.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion by Kelly, second by Alex. Adjourn, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. We're adjourned.